We are live. We are live this afternoon in Dante's Den. My name is LD Robinson of Ladero Design Works, and I work with a Dante production and PTV online concert entertainment. And today we are having sort of a special. Normally, we're in Dante's Den. We are in the den with our artists. And I must say, we do have an artist with us today. We have the fabulous Daphne Cooper with us today. However, we are doing some behind the scenes today per request of Mr. Chauncey Dunham, who is the owner of a Dante production. And we are here with Mr. James Womack, who is the president of Jaw Promotions, who works with Dante. And of course, the lovely Miss Daphne Cooper, who is a vocalist extraordinaire.
Ooh.
So we are excited today, and I'm not doing the questions today. Mr. Chauncey Dunham is doing the questions today. So we're going to turn this over to Mr. C, and we hope that everybody tunes in, share this on your Facebook pages, your YouTube channels. Make sure you go and subscribe to Dante's Den. We've got some fabulous music there. We have interviews with our artists. And there's just plenty of stuff going on with Dante. So, Mr. C, take it away.
Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon.
And,
Good afternoon.
we have not announced Daphne does double duty. Not only is she an artist that works with us, Daphne is also the musical director for Dante. So she works double duty. She's got a lot to do. And like yesterday, I think she earned her keep yesterday because I made her work. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if she got to eat yesterday. She had to work so hard. And the first thing I'd like to do is thank all of you. I really wanted to bring Omar in this also, but Omar is out doing a wedding, so I did not get an opportunity to bring him in. And the way I'm going to start this out is I'm going to let Mr. Womack start because he was getting ready to say something when I cut him off so rudely. And I didn't mean to, but I'm going to let him start. Go ahead, James. What were you saying?
Well, right now, I have just forgot what I was about to say.
That is called a senior citizen moment.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But I'm James Womack of Jaw Entertainment Promotions, and I work right beside a Dante production, right beside Chauncey. And I first started back in Baltimore, because that's where I'm originally from. It's Baltimore, Maryland. Started back in the early 80s for the love of music. And music is such a large genre, I just enjoy it all. Whether it's gospel, whether it's jazz, R&B, hard rock, you name it, I enjoy it. It all depends on the mood that I'm in, and therefore that's where it takes me at. So basically when I left Baltimore, came down here, and it was supposed to be a retirement because I retired from the government after 41 years of service. I came down to Florida, and I said I was going to kick back. But because my brother-in-law, the late Stanley Austin, who was singing with the Main Ingredients, he wanted me to, help him put a show together and to promote a show. So it was a individual that was a myth, the man, and a legend. And that individual was Chauncey Dunham. So he said, I want you to meet this individual. So I said, well, okay then. So I heard about the myth. Then I met the man. And truly, he is a legend. And so we just kind of partnered together, and the rest of it is history. So that's where we at right now. Chauncey does the producing part of it and the production. I do the promotion part of it. And it's like a icy hot situation. And I say that in a good way, because you have individuals that have a a type of personality that can be strong, straight to the point, and then you have someone that can come along and kind of mellow it out a little bit. And that's to me is a formula for a good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I must admit, I am the one that's very difficult, very hard, and James will usually come behind me with the broom and, and the shovel and clean up because I I don't I don't do a lot of foolishness. I don't do a lot of play. I'm wide open, and to put this thing together, I must thank LD because she was a blessing.
yes,
And to put
indeed.
this thing together was not easy. And we met Daphne, and Daphne started talking about notes being wrong and people singing in the wrong key and people playing tunes wrong. And she worked and earned, I use the word earned, the job as musical director. And yesterday she gave me an earful telling the saxophone player to come out from behind the mic. I said, you tell him, you standing here. But that's the kind of things we go through. And I make a joke out of it, but it is very serious. We
Yeah.
have had back to back two extremely successful shows. It's very interesting because I really haven't gotten into my email, but I did get an email from Stonewood, asking us what we were going to do about 2021. Well, I didn't answer that because I'll tell you all, we're not finished with 2020, so I don't have time right now to worry about 2020.
Right.
2021.
Yeah, I can't do that right now. I do have an extremely powerful brain, but it is not that powerful.
That's true. That's true.
And it's very interesting. People in the world want to see a concert. They have no idea of what it comes from conception to birth. We talk about, here's what we're going to do. And I'll give you an example. We said, because of my visionary mentality, I said, let's do Divas Night Out. And I told James about it. He said, that sounds like a good idea. And then I told Daph, and Daph said, where do you want to do it? And I said, Jazz Tastings in Maitland, Florida. Now, that just involved another individual. Seeing that we don't own Jazz Tastings, that involved another individual. Then I said, I want to film it and put it out. That involves two more individuals. That involves Omar and the film crew. That also involves LD, because we're not going to stop in the edit. We're going to go live with this one. So, when we're putting a package together, I would say it is normally anywhere between 22 and 30 people behind the scenes working. Like yesterday, Leroy working the sound.
Yeah.
And we couldn't make it happen without all of these people. So it's a lot more difficult than people think it is. And then you get people out in the world that say, you charging that much? And it's funny because I tease about it, but I'm dead serious. Nobody can drive their car and don't put gas in it. You got to pay for the gas.
That's right.
Nobody can wear that. Yeah, you can't wear your clothes and then wear the same thing every day. You got to get them clean.
Yeah.
And then on the artist,
only if you're in France.
well, that part is. And then on the artist side of it, see, you gonna get in the world of trouble because this is going live. As a matter of fact, I already got some info this morning online that people in other countries are watching us. So we have to be mindful of what we say about the French.
I am a Francophile. I have a degree in foreign languages with French as my major. So I love the French people. Carry
You
on.
know, that sounds like a politician to me. She cleaned that up.
All the way.
But, I owe a great deal of thanks to all of these people that work because all I see is the end goal. I see the end product from the beginning and all of the pieces that go into it. It takes other people to look at those pieces and make sure that all of those pieces fit. Like take the tambourine off the microphone stand. When Daphne hit me with that yesterday, because the cameraman can't see the saxophone player's face because the tambourine was hanging on the microphone. So it takes everybody playing their part to make the whole package come together. The latest thing that happened was a flyer was designed, and I did not design it. I said to somebody, like I always do, we need a flyer. And that person said to me, for what? And I said, for Divas Night Out. So as she was developing the flyer, Lois called and said, I won't be there. I have to be in New York. And so LD made that flyer. I have had so many phone calls about that flyer. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
That flyer is simply beautiful.
Beautiful.
And I get calls. I got one yesterday. I get calls about who made that flyer because it really captures the attention that we wanted to capture. And Daphne worked with the owner of Jazz Tastings, and Daphne made sure, I don't know whether worked with or beat him up is the right words, but Daphne made sure that everything is smooth as it relates to going into Jazz Tastings on Tuesday, the 10th of November. I also got a phone call saying, we're so glad you're doing something during the week because sometimes we have other things to do on the weekend. And I never thought about that. I never did until I got that phone call. So, like I said, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And with that, I'm going to let Daphne talk.
Oh. Well, upcoming Divas Night Out. So just been brainstorming, just trying to understand the atmosphere that we're trying to create. So toying with some ideas. After this, I'll have another call with Sherry, who is the other vocalist, so we can map out how we want the public to come in and experience a Divas Night Out. So just got some wonderful things going on with that. Toying with some music. Then we have to get with the band because we likely won't have a rehearsal because we're professional. And, I try to be consistent with the guys that I use, the musicians that I use. Definitely like to have them, no egos, set the bar high, they're flexible, and no one will ever be disappointed. I'm so looking forward to doing this next month and to have the whole show produced and to see our ideas come into fruition.
Sounds good.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yes, indeed.
Then let me ask LD a question.
Yes.
We're going to try something new with that.
Okay.
And that involves a lot of stuff.
Oh.
And that's the fact that we're not going to edit this. We're not going to do a delay. What we do, what we put on stage is what's going out immediately. And the things that the average person doesn't think about that I have to think about is the number of tables in Jazz Tasting, the arrangement of the tables, to make sure that we have room for the camera crew to set up.
Absolutely.
And going live, I watch a lot of people go live. And I have not seen too many flaws in anybody that goes live. And I want us to have the ability to go live without any flaws. Is it going to be difficult? Yeah. But are we going to do it? Yeah. Because I made a comment, and the comment that I made is, let's not sit around and wait for the normal to come back based on COVID.
Yeah.
Let's develop a new normal. And that's what we're trying to do. The outside world, LD is very familiar with the development world. So is James, because we were so involved with the government. But the outside world does not want to see us in a development stage. They want to see a finished product. In the IT world, it's very difficult to hit a finished product from the first start. You have to perfect it until you have a good finished product. Now that we are worldwide, we have to take in a lot of factors, and we want to hit the ball out the park on the first go round. And with that, I let LD talk.
What would you like me to say? I mean, I think, from a technology standpoint, I got involved with Dante because I was redoing the website, and that evolved into doing flyers and, then P2V and using the website in a different way instead of from just simply an informational, being an informational site with information about shows. It has evolved into a site where we've got channels. We have the Dante's Den channel. We have the P2V online concert entertainment channel as well. And that is where our concerts are hosted that people are able to purchase for viewing for a time period. And so it has been a challenge making sure that these pieces work together from a technology standpoint, understanding time limitations, like what does it mean, if we end a show at 7, what does that mean technology wise, being able to get that show viewable, what has to happen? So I think last night, Chauncey stayed with me after the Grooves show last night at Stonewood Grill, and he got to see a little bit more about what goes on behind the scenes. That is not just a couple clicks of a button. It may be a click of a button and then a lot of waiting, depending on the type of technology that we are using in order to upload shows, and the process from getting the show once it's been recorded. If there is editing that needs to go on, what it takes to export that show in a format that's going to be optimal for viewing. And so for Divas Night Out, Omar and I will certainly make sure that we have all the pieces in place, everything from stream keys being available, making sure we start within the time frame for the stream key, making sure pricing is available. People are able to pay for, the stream. All those things are in place ahead of time so that we're able to do what we can. We want to provide an excellent product. I mean, Dante is known for providing excellent live concerts, right? And so that level of entertainment is something that we also want to do from a digital perspective. What we do online should be a reflection of just how it would be live, as close as possible. And I think, we've added some things. We've learned some things from the first 2 shows that, we implemented in the 3rd show, and I think provided a more excellent product for our viewers.
I agree with that. And this is the perfect time, because I don't want to be embarrassed, because I'll get a phone call after this is over. This is the first time I'm going to hit Daphne with a surprise, because I know when she arranges the shows and gets the musicians and asks people what key they're singing in and all of that, and because everybody's so professional, We don't do rehearsals. Therefore, the guest singer that might be flying in to jump on the stage one time for Divas Night Out, she already sent me the song she'd like to sing in the key, which I have not even given to Daphne yet. As a matter of fact, nobody knows about this but me.
Oh.
And when she called today, when her manager called today and said, what airport should we fly into and all of that, and I got finished telling everybody everything, I decided to wait until we were all together so I didn't get beat up so bad to tell Daphne what I was doing to her. And with that, go back to James. I'm not going to let you talk, Daphne.
So who is the surprise? Did we find out who the surprise guest is?
Did you find that? Are you asking me who it is?
I'm asking.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's someone that, matter of fact, she just sang at the Kennedy Center a week before last. Her name is Mary.
Okay.
And I talked to both she and her manager this morning. And you all know the day after a show, I don't like to have a whole lot of conversation. So I had to drink a cup of coffee real fast to have a conversation with them. And the reason that I'm doing it, I'll be honest, the reason that I'm doing it is Mary is moving to Florida. And I told her last week, I said, Florida is a different market. I said, what you do in DC, you might want to revamp that if you're going to move to Florida, because the market's just so different. So I said, I tell you what, if you just happen to be in Florida, you know, that's one of them little subtle hints.
Uh-huh.
If you just happen to be in Florida on the 19th, I'm sorry, on the 10th of November, I will ask Daphne if you can sing one song. And I said to her, I'm sure Daphne will say yes. I said, and please send me the song in the key before you get here. I said, because guess what? If you can't go on stage without a rehearsal, you can't sing with us.
I heard that.
It's that easy and that simple. One thing James drills into my head constantly. Our motto is we are a touch of class. And if you can't be a class act, come in and jump on stage whenever you're called, you're not in the right place with us. You need to, you know, move on. There's a place for you somewhere. It's just not with us.
That's true. So true. Okay,
Wow.
Charles, what's your question? What's your question?
Do we get a last name?
The name, her stage name that she used, oh, I'll give you all of that. Her stage name she uses in the DC area is Lady Mary.
Lady Mary.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, they were checking on flights and all of that. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
Okay.
But I did tell her we would leave the door open.
Yeah.
And I did make it clear, only one song, because sometimes, as nice as she is, as much as I like her, she might not be a fit. And if it's not a fit, we're not going to force it.
Understood.
We've been down that path where we've had some people that they were good at what they did. They just didn't fit the overall mold of what we do. Yeah, so that's
right.
That's what we're doing. Go ahead, Daphne. Any other questions?
I was just looking her up. I'm excited. I hope that she can come, because that would be nice. Oh yes.
Well, she
This is a little difficult because I had all of these plans for the three of us, and I'm working it out, and I'm doing everything in my head, and then with Lois having to go, it's like, okay, I need to, you know, got to revamp, got to change the flow of things. You know, it's going to be a great show, but to have that little spice, that would be nice.
Well, she and her manager, they did a conference call today.
Okay.
And the Northeast corridor with airlines is extremely reasonable right now.
Okay.
So they found American Airlines to be something that is feasible. So they are talking about coming. But I did emphasize to them, do not stretch your personal budget to accommodate us.
Yeah, understood.
So I'm sure I'll get a call either tonight or tomorrow with what they're going to do. And Daph, I will let you know, which way it's going to go.
Great.
And the one thing I explained to her the demographics of where we work, so she would understand, the ratios and the type of songs and that sort of thing. So I did explain that this morning.
Yes.
So I know that is a total shock to everybody.
I know. You didn't say anything.
Well, LD, I have not talked to you today because it's Sunday, this church. And James and I got off on a tangent about, James and I get on the phone sometime. And we'll start off talking about something. And then 2.5 hours later, we decide we better talk about the point that we called about.
Yes. That's important.
Yeah, so I didn't even tell James that one today.
Right. That is good.
But that just gives the world an idea of some of the things that go on behind the scenes. It's not just snap your fingers and the show goes on stage. It's not that easy.
No.
Like Omar told me today, he's got to go down to Jazz Tastings and take his meter down there to find out their Wi-Fi capabilities.
Yes.
So he'll know whether to bring a Wi-Fi hotspot or not.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people think that it's easy and there's nothing to do. And there are times when I have 3 computers in my house all working at the same time because it's just a lot on the table and a lot to do. And across the top of my screen right now, seeing that I'm using my cell, across the top of my screen, I'm looking at who is tapping in. And the interest we're getting from other countries is surprising. And to give you all some insight on the other countries that are tapping in to look to see what we're doing is Ireland, South Africa, and Australia.
Wow.
And that is not even including the cities within the United States and the states within the United States. So I will say this, thus far, I am very proud of you all being in the inner circle, because not only do you work hard, but you understand how I think. And that's a hard job because I don't understand how I think.
You
Like, I look at a clock before I call LD in the morning. And if it's anything after 5:30, I will call LD. I just roll over and hit the phone and call LD about some stupid thing that's in my mind. And then Daphne, we text 5 or 6 times a day. I think she wants to just see if I'm alive, because she'll text me every morning and say, "How are you today? Good morning, sunshine." I'm like, "Sunshine, girl, I need more eyes yet." And the one thing I will tell the world, and James and I talk about it all the time, the word is harmony. To have a team like we have, and the harmony that we have is unusual. I got a text from Leroy today.
Well.
And Leroy said how wonderful it was to work with the team.
Oh,
that's good.
that's very
Chauncey says harmony, which is great. And I always say integrity, because that's what Chauncey and I, a lot of individuals say, well, how do you two get together? How do you get along, right? And I said, because I trust Chauncey. And I said, and I trust his integrity. And we go from there. Do we have our little differences? Yes, we do. But it's so minute you wouldn't even know it. Because he'll bounce something off on me, and I'll say, "Oh yeah, Chauncey, yeah, that's great, that's beautiful." And then I'll bounce something off of him. He'll say, "Oh yeah, that's nice, that's beautiful." But he'll say something. He'll say,
But we're not gonna do it.
And then once he explains that to me, right, then I would say, "Yes, that's great. I understand what you're saying." But but at the end of the day, it works. It's workable because of the trust level we have. And we surround ourselves with, and that's one thing when we started out. I always said to Chauncey, I said, listen, you know, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And I said, as long as we surround ourselves with individuals that are qualified individuals, then we all would get there together.
Mm-hmm.
We all would get there together.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is what a touch of class is about, because that's the format we have been using. You know, we say, hey, listen, we're a touch of class. So the individuals that we surround ourselves with are classy individuals. They know what they're doing. Chauncey goes home at night, sleeps well. I go home at night, I sleeps well. Because one thing Chauncey said to me when we first got together, he said, stay in your lane. So just like you all look around now, that's what I say. I say, what? Stay in my lane, you know? But then he explained it to me. And I said, okay, great. That's right. Chauncey he produces, the production, what have you. He does all of that. That's his lane. When I'm out there promoting, doing my thing, that's my lane.
Mm-hmm.
But we converse, we talk each and every day. And this is where I try to get individuals. This is behind the scene. We being real with you. We coming straight at it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, people don't want to hear about, what's going on behind the scene. At the end of the day, only thing they want to see is a product. That's it. They don't care how much, it costs, what it entails. The only thing I want to see is the end result. That's it. That's all. But we try to bring that touch of class into it, where when we give you something, we present something to you, that's what it's going to be about. That's what it is. So we surround ourselves with individuals that we can say, hey, listen, you know what? Daphne knows what she's doing. LD knows what she's doing. Omar knows what he's doing. And that's it. That's their lane. That's where they operate at. We let you do your thing. And it all comes together. And at the end of the day, it's about, can you work together? Can we work together?
Mm-hmm.
Can we put all of the negative energy aside, come in, do what needs to be done, come in, create a family environment where we may have our differences, but we know how to work it out to the extent where everybody can go home and everybody's happy and everybody's satisfied. And that's what we're looking for. And right now, that's what we have. We have a family that's coming together where everybody can come in and we gel. It's clicking. It's clicking. You'd be surprised how many individuals can't get along, but they work together, but they cannot get along. But the beautiful thing about it is when you can work with someone and you still can go out and have dinner and have a drink right after you get off work.
Yeah.
You still can say, look, man, come to my house this evening because I'm having a party. I'm having something. And look, I tell you what, let's take a trip together. That's a family there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of a party, I told Daph about the party I had last Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And, Daphne is the kind of person that doesn't say a lot of words, but them fingers go to running on them Texas. And Daphne sent me a nasty text. Asked me how did I have a nerve to have a birthday party without her. I told her there wasn't nobody here but me. I was having a party with myself.
Well, see, that's what family do, though. You know, that's how family pull you up. That's family.
I was upset.
That's family.
Exactly.
You know, behind the scenes is even it's good to be able to laugh about it, really.
Yes.
Because behind the scenes can be very tense.
Yes.
It can be unrealistic. Like Daph will hit me sometimes with, "Oh, we got a new drummer tonight." Then she sees the expression on my face knowing that I am not happy. And then she'll follow it up real quick and say, "Don't worry, I trust him." And once she says, "Don't worry, I trust him," I'm okay. LD will hit me with something that is not going to happen the way it should happen. And even though we're on the
the way
phone,
you want it to happen.
yeah, really. Oh, is that goes the way I wanted it? Okay. But you know, James hit a very valid point. We are all not going to sing from the same sheet of music at all times.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's about the end product.
Yes.
I got very upset last night. James and I talked about it this morning about the outside participation as far as the concert last night. But then when I woke up this morning and I saw London and some of the other countries of people applauding what we do, it takes me off that edge of being upset about some of the local things that happen. I'll just leave it like that.
Okay.
You know, because none of us, out of the four of us, none of us have to be doing this. All of us have lives of our own. And we could be doing other things with our lives. Like Daphne's text to me, "What time are we going on today? Because I got to get out in the garden." You know.
That's right.
You know, so we have lives. Excuse me, Daph, I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, we all do things, and we don't have to do this. And there's a difference between want and need. All of us don't need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing something because we want to do it.
Yes.
That's right.
I have to say that it's been very interesting for me because I never thought I'd be working this closely with a music organization. And if you've been listening to Dante's Den, you know that I love music, right? I grew up in a family where and in my family, we enjoy music. You know, we text songs to each other, you know, and it's something we do to encourage each other. And so there's almost always, at least Monday through Friday, you are likely going to get a text that includes a song, right? And so that love for music is very surprising to me that has come to this place very unexpectedly, that I'm working with an organization that you know, your goal is to provide musical entertainment. And so I think it's very interesting for me that the technology part, or just the website building, has morphed into something else. And that is very enjoyable to me, to be able to see what happens behind the scenes, right? Like being in the studio, I didn't know that those headphones were on people's ears because the vocalists were listening to the song. And then the music came together, that they were two separate things. The vocals were going in one way and the music was coming in the other way. You know, I didn't know what that was, you know. So that like really that like surprised. I was in the studio with Chauncey. I was like, I didn't know this would. So that is I think this is just so exciting to me. I tell you, I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning more. I'm stretching, my skills in ways, and so it's very exciting. But I'm thrilled to be learning about music. I mean, I think being in the studio, and hearing Daphne sing everything from Amy Winehouse to John Legend, I was like, okay, so I am, no longer in the shower. With professionals. This is not the shower room. These are pros.
Yes.
So I think it's very exciting. I think there are a lot of things. This can only grow as we perfect and mature how we offer, what we build in terms of infrastructure to offer live and online entertainment that people really want to come back to time and again. If you missed last night, the Groove concert at Stonewood Grill, I tell you, you missed a treat. And I believe that you will see that online as well. And so live, I mean, they were fantastic. I tell you, Clay, Carlos, and David are my new friends now, right? So it was fantastic. And if you missed the week before R&B and Soul, you missed something. And so I think as we just tweak and perfect things, this will only grow and be everything that I think Mr. Chauncey imagines and James imagined is going to be, and we'll just be back here clicking away.
Listen, we have our vision is just off the chart. I mean, it's so much that we would love to do, and I believe it's going to happen. But I want to kind of give a little sidebar right here. And this is for the musicians as well as the performers, as well as the customers. And this is what I truly believe. When we choose a venue, when I go out and I travel up and down the highways and the byways trying to find that right venue, because deep down inside, I feel like the artists, the musicians, they deserve that.
Yes.
They deserve that. Now, don't get me wrong now. Don't get it twisted. I had some of my best days, still do. And some of the little, hole in the walls. Hey, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I believe they deserve that because they put time, resources to develop that skill. And it's still being developed. So at the end of the day, I want to choose a place, a venue. And Chauncey, sometimes he accompany me, sometimes he don't. And we travel up and down because I want that right spot, that right place that they can go in, not just because it's that venue, but I want it to be not only recognized in Daytona, I want it to be recognized in the state of Florida. I want it to be recognized in the country. So that someone were to fly to Daytona or the Stonewood Grill, or they decide they want to go to the Banking Blues or the Museum of Arts. These places are places that are on the map. These places that people will come and spend their money. They deserve that. Nothing less. The other side of that coin is the customers. they deserve that too.
Yes.
Because they want to come out. I want them to be able to come to a place where they can, if they want to put a tuck on, they can come in a tuck. They want to come in a suit, they can. They want to dress down, they can. And because they know that I can take my significant other to this location, hear good music, hear good singing, they can have good food, drinks, and they can feel comfortable and relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I view it. To me, that's part of a touch of class. And I just don't go out here and find anything. We just don't go out here and find anything. We try to make sure that it's some place that is worthy of each and every one that support us as well as work with us.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you, last night was an excellent venue. The last 2 Saturdays, I thoroughly enjoyed being at Stonewood Grill. I think the place where the room where the artists are set up is just perfect for filming. It's perfect for the musicians and the vocalists. It really, and the scenery, it makes for great film. I'll tell you that. So
Yes.
it makes for great film. It really does.
Well, hopefully, I don't want to tell anybody to do anything, but if LD happens to put a clip up, just a little clip on Dante's Den of last night, it would work real well, because if you'll notice with Stonewood, last Saturday was in the middle of the day,
Yes.
and the sun was in one location. Last night was in the evening, and the sun was in another location. And just that backdrop blows my mind.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right, LD, I'll let you wrap us up.
Well, we are so excited, and we talked about last night at Stonewood. So I'm going to remind you that if you have not gone online to purchase your viewing of The Groove for the Flagler County branch of the NAACP Freedom Fund Virtual Gala 2020, we invite you to go online and do that. It is $10 for the purchase. It's a rental for 72 hours. Watch it as many times as you like. Invite some friends over, have a good time, and you will not be disappointed with The Groove. We also want to let you know, coming up in a couple of weeks will be, as we talked about earlier, Divas Night Out, and that is going to be Miss Daphne Cooper and Miss Sherazada Morales at Jazz Tastings. We will be streaming live from Maitland, Florida, at 7 o'clock p.m. November the 10th. That's a Tuesday. And so we hope you all come out for Divas Night Out at Jazz Tastings with Daphne and Sherry. And it's been another great afternoon in Dante's Den.
Yes,
I am so happy. It's been a pleasure to have 2 new faces here. James Womack of Jaw Promotions, and Ms. Daphne Cooper, who is a vocalist and musical director at a Dante production. And so we're just truly excited about what's going on. We have plenty of concerts coming up this fall, and we will keep you posted. If you're looking for some great tunes and great covers, we invite you to subscribe to Dante's Den on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Look us up, a Dante production. So today, thank you, Mr. C. Thank you, Mr. James. And thank you, Ms. Daphne.
Yes.
For another wonderful afternoon in Dante's Den. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. chill out and relax. And Monday is tomorrow. And I think that's the one thing about the music world is that weekends are working weekends in music.
Yeah.
Those are working days. So I'm really excited. And so thanks everybody for being here. And we will see you all again a couple weeks in Dante's Den. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.